Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, what I like to do is to create videos that I would have found helpful when I first got out looking for treasure. Now, today's video is the culmination in a series where we bought this box full of mismatched and bric-a-brac earrings for $15, and we have been sorting them. If you haven't seen the prior 3 videos, I'll try to put a little pip right there that links to the first in the series. This is all gold right here that we got out of there. And if you were watching the last one, I promised that I would do some gold testing because there were some pieces that weren't marked. All of this is marked gold, either 10 karat or 14 karat. These pieces, though, were ones that I said that I would test from the prior videos. And no real surprises, honestly. This pair right here came out to be 14 karat. They are totally unmarked. I don't think these are rubies. They look like they're rubies, but they don't glow in a black light, and I've never seen that before. So we will definitely be gem testing those in this video. This one with the opal tested as gold. Now, it ate it a little bit, but it didn't eat it completely, and I tested it a few different ways. So that 10 karat test acid, I think was showing us that this is probably lower karat. Oftentimes when I've been able to put something like this on an X or F machine, it comes up as like 9 karat, sometimes as low as 8 karat. So pieces like this are gold. They're just not a very high karat of gold. And that did hold true in this case with this nice little opal here. This piece tested as 14 karat. It's not marked, but it did test as 14 karat. I assume this is going to be a CZ, but you know, we'll find out. Sometimes with nicer earrings like this, and the reason I thought this one was gold was because it is quality. Sometimes only one of the two will be marked, and sometimes the marks are so small you just can't really see them reasonably. And then both of these weird pieces ended up coming out at 10K. I think this is like the back to something like this. They both seem to be the same thing, and they both screw out. And I did the top here and the bottoms, and they both came out about 10K. So real strong 10K, but the 14 ate it pretty solidly. Not super fast. So maybe they're slightly higher than 10. Maybe these are 12K. I'm not sure, but I'm going to call them 10 karat. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and fire up the gem tester, and we are going to be doing a bunch of gem testing in this video. So hang out and let's get it set up. These gem testing machines are a little bit on the finicky side. At least the one that I have, I find to be a little bit persnickety, I gotta say. So we also may be getting not perfect results because this is stuff that I haven't really cleaned. So if you have suggestions for me on the gem testing, let me know. We'll try to get good results on these. I tend to find that diamonds very easily test on this machine. But the other things, you gotta have to interpret them. If you can see here, what it's doing as it's warming up is that we have a range, and then it's giving us different potentials. So like, you know, we have a situation here where something could be between topaz and ruby. So you also have to you can't just use the machine. It's not going to just say, yep, you got a ruby. It will say, yep, you got a diamond for sure. But the rest of the stones, you know, it takes a little bit of interpretation. Also, it takes a little bit of warming up, and it can be a little bit of a chore to get this thing going. So I'm going to actually pause the video. You know what? Are you proving me wrong? Are you going to work just perfectly right now? Maybe it will just start working. But people have asked me about buying these. This is the Smart Pro Gi1, as you can see. I don't know that I could recommend it realistically, you know, for a couple $100. I don't know that it's really that much better than the cheap little ones that just do diamonds. Like, I always feel confident this thing is going to do diamonds for me, but the other things, It's fun. I like having it for videos, but it also drives me kind of crazy. So speaking of which, it's not finishing its process here. So let me pause, make sure it's all warmed up and good to go, and I'll come back. Okay, we're back. That's on Simulant on the little tester right here. I probably can't see because I'm zoomed in too much, but that lets us calibrate it, and then it should go all the way back, drop all the way back to nothing, and then we can test it to see if diamond. Yep, okay. So we should be good to go, should drop back, and we can actually start to look at some of these stones that we have in here. Why don't we start with this one right here? I'm guessing this will be CZ or something, not diamond. If that is diamond, I would presume man-made, but let's see. So that goes up to the garnet, tourmaline, iolite, chrysoprase, emerald. Is that what CZs do? I actually don't know. It doesn't have CZ on there, but it's not a diamond, and that's what matters. And it is a white stone. Let's have a look at this one over here. This real deep blue stone set in 10 karat on this kind of old looking piece. I'm thinking maybe a sapphire, hopefully. So it should go up to the ruby sapphire range. Yeah. Yep, past topaz. So yeah, I think we have a nice old sapphire right there. That's pretty cool. Okay, now these ones were confusing me because all rubies I've ever seen fluoresced like nobody's business. So let's try the stone in the middle first off. Now when these stones are small, they can be a little hard to do, but we'll just... Stone in the middle, diamond, nice. And what are the pink stones? Well, they go up to ruby. Let's try another one. Yeah, so that's what happens if you hit the metal. Oh, come on. So people ask me, should you buy one of these? Well, what's your tolerance for frustration? Yeah, I think, I don't know. Oh, come on, you. Topaz. The other thing about this is that it's going to get you some odd... Let's try the other side there. At the other earring. Yeah, I don't know if, because of how this is made, if I can get a really good read. Are there... No, it's going up to ruby. I guess they must be rubies. I have not seen one of these that doesn't fluoresce like crazy though, so maybe I just missed it. Shall we check again with our black light? So I'm going to turn off the lights here. And we will grab our black light. Okay, might have to turn off my little Gem1 there. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe these things do fluoresce like rubies. There we go. There's our black light. Oh, they're rubies. Look at that. Okay. Well, yeah, that's what rubies look like under black light. So we've got rubies and diamonds. That's pretty cool. At least in my opinion. Maybe you folks out there in treasure watching land don't care about rubies and diamonds, but I think they're pretty neat. Let's get all set back up here. All right. And yeah, so that's a neat little set. 14 karat rubies and diamonds. Now, I don't know why there's no markings on them. But I think I'm probably going to make sure this set is set aside for my daughter judging by her current taste. Now, she's 7, so her current taste is that of a 7-year-old. But judging by her current taste, she's probably going to love such a thing when she's old enough not to destroy it. Okay, so we have we're going to look at the stones and the gold here. I don't see any stones in the silver that I really want to double check, but there are definitely some stones in the gold that I'd like to sort of see what happens when we have a look at them. And there's some stones just that were loose that we want to have a look at. So these are set in 14 karat, and I'm curious what they're going to do. Garnet, tourmaline, iolite, chrysoprase, emerald, tanzanite. Looks like it's trying to get to tanzanite. Is that what that is? So it starts, let's do it right in the middle there. Try one more time. It likes to sit on glass, but then it jumps up a little bit. Well, my fantastically educated jewelry audience, what do you folks think? Because it's not quite getting up to quartz, so it's not quite getting up to amethyst. I don't know. And they are set in 14, so now this one was kind of interesting. Some real light blue stones, and one of them is big enough that I think we can make it happen here, shall we? Oh, sapphires, huh? Cool. Let's try one more. Oop, that's what happens when you hit the metal. Yeah, right up into that sapphire range. Now there's the top end of the topaz, but it seems to go a little higher, so maybe topaz, maybe sapphire. I don't know what you folks think. It's pretty. It's set in 14 karat white gold. All right, what else we got in here? Let's just grab at things. What do we think? We gonna have a diamond? Yeah, we got a diamond. Nice. I should segregate diamonds, shouldn't I? How many diamonds are we gonna come out with this? We got a diamond? Nope. If I can do it right. Nope. No diamond. So CZ or glass? I don't know how CZs show up on this thing. Oh. Where should I put that? That one was not a diamond, but it's gold. We'll put it over there. Diamonds, not diamonds. Okay. Probably a CZ. I'm not too surprised. I think this is 10 karat. So whatever that glass reading means. Let's see what else we got in here. Doop, doop, doop. That one. Same thing. Yeah, I think these are probably CZs. And you saw too there that diamonds really just like shoot up. And this isn't too surprising that we'd end up with a lot of like not diamonds. That one went a little bit better. Not sure what's going on with that. We'll put that a little more mid-grade. I feel like that's part of a pair. Oh, I told you last time that we found this as a pair. Now, I assume these are going to be CZs and not diamonds. If they're diamonds, and I'll be surprised. I feel like these are going to be pretty... These will be pretty big if they're diamonds. Shall we see? Yeah. That makes sense. I think they're CZs. Probably. Okay. If they'd been diamonds, honestly, I might even feel a little bit of guilt. Same thing. Yeah. And that's pretty much as expected. Oh, I think this is a ruby. Should go up to that ruby range there. No, maybe not. Might be a garnet? Ah, garnet. Oh, it could be a pink CZ. That's probably what that is. That's probably just a pink CZ, huh? Let's just double check. This one was a diamond. Let's just make sure it's still working, shall we? Yep. All right. Amethyst, we think? Let's see what it does. Hey, look at that, amethyst. Why is it still going up into jadeite and spinel? It's got to be an amethyst, right? We got that. That's the weird pair that has a kind of like a stone on the top there. That's magnetic, and I don't know if I can get whatever that is. It's a sapphire? Let's try the other one. It's a calibrate. I don't know what's going on with that exactly. Maybe it's sapphire. Again, leave a comment. Let me know what you think's going on with those, because whatever that is super magnetic in the top. It's like it's a little piece of metal with a stone in the middle. And I guess this thing thinks it's a sapphire or it's a calibrate, whatever that means. Okie dokie. Other fun things. Ooh, I bet this one's a diamond. And the reason I bet this one's a diamond is just it's very heavy duty. And it's very built. Nope. It is not. It's the same as whatever these are. Guessing this is going to be the same. Yep. And I think this is pretty much to be expected. You know, this one might be a diamond just because it's so teeny bitsy. Oh. No. No. What about you? Nope. I feel like one of the things that we're making very clear here is that most of the time when you find little earrings at the thrift shop, they are going to turn out to be CZs. It's kind of an interesting one. It's got this. What do we think? Diamond? If it is, that'll be a fairly nice diamond, I'd say. Nope. Same as whatever the rest of these things are. And if you didn't watch the last video, keep in mind that everything that we're testing right now is marked gold. So these are all, I think these are pretty much all just CZs in marked gold. This one is interesting. It has a very fine mark. I talked about this at the end of the last video. I'm expecting this one to be a diamond. Yep. Oh, come on, you. Maybe it's a sapphire? I don't know. It's possible, too. My understanding is these things need to be clean. And I suspect this one has a lot of skin. Yeah, there we go. I think that is definitely a diamond. There's a lot of skin going on in that one. So we have 2 diamonds so far. This one, I think, is just going to be, I think this is a pair. Yep. What about this? Emerald, we think? Oh, and there was another one that I forgot to test, but we'll check it here in a sec. Maybe an emerald? Yeah, it gets up into that emerald range, doesn't it? Yep. If I can do it right. Just barely, but it gets into that emerald range. I think that's probably what we have. You know, again, add a comment, let me know. Let's see, what else we have here? That's just going to be a CZ, I bet. Yep. These ones in Mexico. I'm not sure what these stones are. Maybe this will tell us. Garnet, probably. I'd imagine that's a garnet. I don't know if we had two of those. I think we only had one. What else we have in here? That is a very, I don't know. It kind of is blue-purple. Nothing. I think we've done that already, but yep. Here's, that looks pretty good, maybe. Maybe diamond. Maybe not. Here's a kind of a bluish stone. Let's see what we get. I don't know. I'm not sure which one that'll be. All right, what else we got in here? We have so many. Man, we got a lot out of this thing, didn't we? All right, let's just try two at the same time. Whoops. Yep. And yep. More of our CZ pile, I think. That's what we're looking at there. And that, I think, does it, except for the thing that I forgot to gold test, which was this. What do we think? Maybe a CZ? Yep, I think so. But what I will do at this point is I will go gold test this real quick. I'll come back and I'll tell you if this was gold. Apologize that I didn't get that at the beginning of the video. Okay, and I'm back, and sure enough, that tested out as 14K. Not 18, but 14, very solid. So, yeah. Let me turn this off. And I think we will finish off this video series at this point. I do want to note that I didn't expect it to take so many videos to get to the end here. But I think that is a real testament to just how tiny and fiddly these things can be when you are when you're looking at them. So what we're going to do now to finish out the series, we're going to weigh this stuff up. And It's a little bit hard because obviously we have a mix of 10 karat and 14 karat, and we also have the stones. So if you are someone who wants to know how much money do I have in gold, this would drive you crazy because, quite frankly, you can't really know without actually scrapping it. We could do a little bit of estimating though. And what we're going to do here is I'm going to, we're just going to weigh it all up. I think I'm going to do a couple things here. I'm going to use this. I'm going to tare it because I want all of these not diamonds and such like to go on in there. What are we at? We're at 12, 13. Now, a lot of this is 14 karat, but there's some 10 karat, and then there's also quite a bit of, well, a little bit of like maybe 9 karat, and there's a lot of stones. So, like I said, if you're like a stacker who cares about these things from a standpoint of how much gold do I have, the answer is you have 15.28 grams of, some of it's gold. Is it 14 karat? No. If I were going to do a little bit of math as to about how much money this gold is worth, roughly, I'd maybe say, what's 15 grams of 10 karat worth? Just discounting all of the 14 karat and assuming that's going to go away in stone weight, or maybe 14 grams, or whatever you want to guess. Because honestly, at this point, it really is a guess as to how much of this is gold. I would say we have at least 10 grams of 10 karat, probably closer to 14 grams of 10 karat. You know, we're maybe 4 grams pure, 5 grams pure of gold at a guess. So yeah. I think we did fine for our $15, no matter what. But also keep in mind, it was $15 in a bunch of time. In addition to that, we have silver. I'm going to keep these all separated out because these are cool things that I want to potentially do something with at some point. But yeah, we have you know, other stuff for crafting here, obviously. A bunch of stuff that if you watch my previous videos, you know, I'm probably going to take the stones, I think they're CZs or just glass, and those are going to end up becoming little gem pouches for stocking stuffers. Oh, geez. And you know what I totally forgot? The gemstones. A bunch of you who watched the previous videos are probably like, what were all the gemstones? The loose gemstones. I will fire up my my gem tester again, and we'll do the loose gemstones in a second. But before we do that, we're going to weigh up all the silver, because I have a suspicion that we did just fine in terms of how much stuff. That's for another video. Let's put that on there. I have a suspicion that we did just fine for tear that, just based on silver. Let's see how much silver we got. Of course, you know, you say we have 53 grams, but look at all the stones in there. So, I don't know, 40 grams? Did we get 40 bucks in silver? I'd say just scrap silver, we got 40 bucks. I can conservatively claim that based on how high silver is right now. So yeah, if you see these, this particular one was much richer than I expected. Much richer than I expected. I expect these things are usually not that rich. I think this is a result of like the end of summer, if that makes any kind of sense, that there was just a lot of stuff that came in and it just ended up in there and it just ended up going out the door that way. Even though there were a few pairs, hardly anything in there was actually a pair. So there is that. I'm gonna weigh that. This is just a little bit of a preview. Wow, that was 50 cents well spent. This did test out to be 14 karat, but we'll talk about that one later. All right. Oh, but I did buy it at the same time. So that was a very good day at the thrift shop. I promised I would test these. Let me set up the gem tester and we will figure out what this stuff is. Okay, I think we are booted up. Why don't I grab one of these diamonds, just make sure. Oh, that's a sapphire. We'll just make sure on the sapphire right here. Yeah, we're doing good. Okay. Thinking these are probably all just going to be like CZs. Actually, this one looks like it might be something. Let's see. The question is, can I hold it right to do this? I may not be able to test these little stones in this way. Maybe folks can give me a hint on this one in the comments. The little stone there. Let's look at this big stone. This is pretty. Nope. I think this is a topaz. Maybe? Yeah, it gets up to the topaz range. And I'm not sure if my holding it interferes. That very likely may be a topaz. I wonder if I can just leave it down like that and make it work. Yeah, that might just be like a blue CZ. What's this orange thing? Garnet, maybe? Glass or garnet. There we go. It's probably a garnet. So we probably have a topaz and a garnet. That's pretty cool. Topaz. Garnet. This one I'm pretty sure is a ruby. Right here. So I'm thinking this won't go up for us. Hey, look at that. Nice. That's a nice size ruby too. Ooh! It had a spot it wanted to go to. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. Whatever this is. Kind of got an interesting look to it. Maybe is nothing. Yeah, I think it might just be big nothing. Got a little something here. This was the one that glowed green under the black light, if you saw that video. Okay, come on, you. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe some kind of CZ. Something. Like that doesn't even get up quite to glass, whatever that is. This one I imagine will be glass or nothing. Yeah, because it's got like some paint on the back, so I think that one is for the kids. These all seem to be the same. I'm guessing if they're anything, they're CZs. Oh. Goes up. Yeah, I don't know. Let's try try this next one. So, if anyone's looking for answers on what most of these things are, yeah, see, it jumps up there to that chrysoprase, tourmaline, iolite. I think all three of these are the same thing. So if anyone's looking for like an answer to what these things are, I would suggest checking the comments, because you folks in my audience are really, really good. I think that's the same way. It's just not. Yeah. You folks in my audience are really, really good about knowing things and telling other people who are watching my videos those things, which is wonderful, and I really appreciate it. So, ruby, topaz, I think, and I'm pretty certain a garnet. This other stuff, don't know. Really am not entirely sure what's going on with all of these. I think this blue one might be a little too small for me to really check. But, you know, I have a friend who's a jeweler, and I will give them to him, and I'm sure he can make some fun things. He does a lot of stuff in silver, so I will save all of those for him. And with that, I think we are done with this video. Where's all the... Oh, there's all the silver. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't yet. It's a big help to me when you subscribe, and leave comments. I hope you'll be able to help a little bit with some of this gem testing. It really takes some interpretation, I think, and experience with the gem tester clearly counts for a lot. So I would appreciate anything anybody has to say about that. Most importantly, though, I hope you're able to learn something in this video so that you can go out and find yourself some treasure.
Like this, I've been Thomas.